Thank you. Thank you for the likes. Karen, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? I'm fine. What about you? How are you doing today? Yes, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm doing very, very well. Wow, thank you so much for doing well too. Stima ilirudi. It's power back. Jana we left at a point where you told me that you had no power. Your power had disappeared. Yesterday Telile laid. I think that's the reason why maybe power really went out. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Happy good day. How are you doing today, guys? Today it's on Tuesday. No, today it's on Tuesday. How are you doing, guys? How are you doing today, guys? Let me know how you are doing on this good Tuesday. And I'm going to appreciate, guys. I'm going to appreciate. So guys, you can support the live by liking our live. Beside liking our live, you can also contribute to our today's topic. Such a very, very interesting topic. Yeah, is where we are asking, is relationship important? Is relationship important? And let me know some which benefit that you have really derived for adapting with the relationship. Is it your enhanced personal health? Is it your mental wellness? Is it your emotional support? Or which one is, or any other? Let me know, guys. Let me know. For someone who might ask, what a relationship, what is a relational relationship? This is essentially a form of relationship, that people form as a way of ensuring that they build what we may call this is a form of relationship where we really want to build on trust. This is also where we want to build on mutual respect with others. This is where we also want to have some empathy, and we also want to have some emotional investment in the lives of others. That's the concept. That's the key concept when we talk about the relational relationship. And relational relationship, as we said, it's always a very, it's a very healthy kind of a relationship. Uh, Karen, hiyo yote huwezi pata kwa mtu mmoja. Kwa nini Karen? Karen, why are you disputing on this? Ni gani nakosa? Which one do you Which one do you likely to miss from one person? Is it trust? Is it mutual respect? Is it empathy? Ama emotional investment? Carly, which one do you suggest mostly when we really want to create any form of relational relationship we don't really get? Lazima tu kukuwe na kasoro. Yeah, I agree. Things can never be 100% all of them. I agree. For instance, Karen, maybe you might have a friend, and maybe you are trying, maybe on your side you have a lot of trust, but on their head they betray you. That's how that thing works. Yeah. Empathy, a lot of people don't have that. Wengi hawana huruma, they just want to see you suffer. So that's the reason why people are saying nowadays, all my enemies are suffering. You know? You know? Karen, not a respect. Yeah. You might be there respecting someone, but at the end of the day, maybe they are not respecting you. I agree. That's another pitfall. Yeah, that's another pitfall. You might be there believing that you have done your best. You have done your best. You have respected them. Maybe. Maybe you have created a lot of connection, emotional connection with them, but at the end of the day maybe they fail you. Ni gumu kupata mtu anakuheshimu. Yeah. But they are there, but very few, as you have said. Those attributes, not all that maybe we can get from just one guy. Even men face disrespect in their marriages. I agree, Carlin. I saw of another lady who was boxing. She was boxing her man. It is a clip that is on social media. That lady, she is like, she is fat. short and fat, and she was boxing the man. She was boxing the man. Though the man was a little bit tipsy, the man was a little bit tipsy, you know. That was the thing. The man was a little bit tipsy, and I couldn't figure out how maybe they live in their marriage. That's the highest form of disrespect, you know. Things got to us to an extent that everything was personal. Eh? Things were very, very, very personal. I don't know if it's respect that comes to a point where maybe now people now says that we cannot do this anymore. I don't know really what happened. I don't really know. I cannot really understand. Hmm? But guys, we should understand that when we are building this form of relational relationship, they are very, very instrumental, and they can be very, very healthy for our personal growth. It's always good to try and build relational relationship early. Even if it's not a relationship between maybe a husband and wife, it's always very, very important to build it as a way of ensuring that we keep on having that personal growth. Because at the end of the day, as Karen has said, I always agree that it's through creating maybe a form of relationship with others. It might be a relationship between a husband and wife, a relationship between maybe a friend and a friend, a relationship maybe between a kid and a mother, or a kid with the parent, a relationship between maybe an employer and the employee. So in the context of creating now the relational relationship, you just find that maybe if your trust issue was a little bit maybe low, you might find that your partner on the end, or the friend that you are creating that relationship on the other end, really values trust. You see, and in the process, now you kind of develop that form of trust. That's how people grow. That's the essence now of personal growth. So you really also work with other people. For instance, there is a guy that I was working with, and he is very punctual when it comes to time. You see, and at times, the African time, we always say let's meet maybe at 10, and maybe we meet at 11. But due to his punctuality, you also now become a little bit disciplined, and you understand that time is an essential component, and therefore anytime now maybe you are not creating that form of trust, that if we say we meet at 3, it is at 3 but not at 5, then it will be problematic in that form of a relationship. So it's always very, very fine, and it's always very, very key to understand that relational relationship, at all levels, be it at the family level, be it at the friend level, be it maybe employer-employee level, it's very, very uh, very, very instrumental to creating what we may call personal growth. And some of the key benefits of us being engaged in what we are calling the relational relationship, one is all about our health, our improved health. So health is very, very important. Our health is very, very important, and we should always realize that when we form relational relationship, there are very, very high possibilities of us now creating what we may call positivity in our lives. That's the good thing with it. That's the good thing with it. We are able now to create positive relationship, and in the process of creating these positive relationship, you always realize that maybe we are enhancing the way our system works, the way our body system works. And I would say this form of the element of improved health. It's So in the process of creating the relational relationship, improved health is always realized. So, sorry. Okay. Relational relationship, and I think having relational relationship is very instrumental, because you know it even prolongs our lives. I have seen so many people, maybe people that were in a previous relationship, and maybe as Karen was said, maybe someone was in a previous relationship, and in the process maybe that person didn't get, let's say, maybe emotional support. Maybe that person didn't really get empathy, respect, or something of sort, and maybe when they find their lost leap, you know, or maybe when now they go to the next level of their relationship, or maybe when they now go to a new relationship, they just find some missing gaps or some of these missing things. And in the process of finding now some of these missing things, like maybe the respect or maybe empathy, name them. At the end of the day, they always feel that even some of the key issues, some of the key health complications that maybe they were realizing maybe in their previous relationship are always dead now to heal, So relational relationship is such an instrumental component, in such a way that it can really create what we call enhancement of the mental wellness, or improved health, the essence of improved health. Similarly, when now we create, when we create enhanced relationship, we have a chance of enhancing also our mental wellness. There are some people, maybe they were in a certain relationship, and I think this one is for couples. Maybe a certain couple was in a certain relationship, but maybe when they were in that relationship, they could feel it was like, I'm feeling depressed, having all these lists of psychological disorders. But in the process now of creating now this relational relationship, maybe with another person or with even a friend, or they always find that maybe even their wellness, their mental wellness is coming back, and it's healing. And this is what really happens when maybe someone is going through a lot, and maybe the support system that is within or allowed within that person does not really offer what we may call the emotional support. And in the process of lacking the emotional support, what really happens is like the case that we saw just the other day. Karen, thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back. So you just find that those guys that maybe they are lacking the emotional support. We'll always realize a case like the one that we saw here in Juja just the other day, of a guy. Thank you so much, Carlen, for listening. Of a guy who just jumped, from the highway or down, you know. And the reason why people are speculating, uh, are speculating about his death, they are mostly saying that the guy really looked depressed. You see. And if that guy, for instance, maybe could have had what we may call a positive kind of, support system, what really happened? This is a guy, Karen. He is a young person. He went here in Juja, flyover, and then all of a sudden he jumped. He jumped onto the highway. And since it's some distance, being from a flyover all the way to the highway, the guy died instantly. But now people have really tried to analyze why he really killed himself. But there is a post that he had made. Yeah. He just killed. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, he did that thing yesterday. It's a thing that is going, uh, you know, learning or everywhere on the social media. But the post that he had made the previous day, it was all about contemplating some of these thoughts that maybe that they are suicidal. You know. Uh, And so I was really trying to give now this example by saying, if this guy maybe had what we are calling the relational relationship with a certain guy and maybe open up, and maybe he just get that maybe the other friend who he or she is, who that friend might be a little bit more open, honest, or something of such, the chances of that guy to have survived would have been very, very high. But I think uh, what really we are now experiencing So that's how that guy, lost his life. And probably if he could have had what we are calling the relational relationship, the chances of that guy of surviving might have been a little bit higher, you know. But nowadays, I see we are acting in a very, very weird way, in such a way that anytime maybe we are having, maybe we are trying to contemplate, these suicidal thoughts, instead of the society, and now the closest society that we are having, it's all about our friends on the social media. That's the truth. You know, that's where most of the people are getting their consolation. You know, yes, because at the end of the day, we are always live. We are always going live. Each and every time we are always there. Trying to interact with our friends, and therefore you just realize that we have, our social media platform have really created space for us to be interacting with some people whom we don't know, and in the process of interacting with them, when now maybe we are contemplating like the suicidal thoughts, some of them they really, tend to see it as a joke. Instead of them telling us, don't kill yourself, you should do this, you should do this. If maybe like in TikTok, I always meet with a lot of posts of young men and women, always saying, I'm in my last stage of maybe depression. How can you advise me? But when I go through the comment, wow, the comments are always okay. We have some positive comments, but you always find that most people have what we may call the negative energy. And when I'm posting something of such, it always suggests that the energy that I really had to keep on fighting on in life has really gone down. you know but the people that I'm really relying on for their comfort, or maybe for them to give me some kind of an advice of how maybe I can reduce on my suicidal thoughts. Some of them they really take it as a joke. Even others, I have seen like other comments like just kill yourself and then you'll come and have some lies, you see. And literally, since this person is already depressed, and then you are just telling him or her to go on and kill him or herself, then the issue really become a mess, and that's how we are really realizing all these form of suicidal things or suicidal cases. So it's always good to form relationship, especially during this age where mental issue cases are really rising, because if we are not careful about understanding why so many people are undergoing some challenges in life, then we might experience of a lot of suicidal cases, of which is not a very good thing. So there is need for us to keep on forming the relationship. The other issue or the other aspect that I really love about forming relationship, if relationship with a friend or with my employer or even with those that are close to me and those that I really love and cherish, is all about the issue of emotional support. Emotion is very, very critical, especially when we are facing tough times. Like today, based on how things are going, having shaky maybe economic times, maybe having a lot of health issues, having a lot of lack of finances, all these things, having a lot of bills and the stuff. And maybe for those that really went through to school and maybe they don't have an income, maybe based on what they did maybe in their colleges or something of sort, they really face a lot of emotional issues, and emotional issues, they are like anger. You just anything can just provoke you because you are just angry, and in the process, if you don't have a good relationship with others, or if you have not yet really formed a relationship, then you might not have the advantage of getting emotional support. But in the process where you have that kind of a support, you know maybe guys telling you, you might not be employed for now, but let's keep the spirit high, because I believe that things are going to work better in the future. It keeps you going, you know but if you don't have relationship, maybe with a close friend or something or someone of sort, then your energy, the chances or the probability of your energy being depleted at a very fast rate, it's always there. you know that one is always there. And in the process of lacking that, you may end up now in the long route, where we are saying that you might even go to a further level, where maybe you might even contemplate what you are calling the suicidal thoughts. So relationship is also very, very important, especially when we really want to have what we are calling the emotional support. you know Emotional support. And having a relationship, as we said before, there is need for us to accept what we may call the personal growth. Yeah, and this comes now back to where we started, where we say that when we are having what we are calling the personal growth, this is where we really want to go, because we are having this form of relationship, like a relationship where maybe we can be able to trust, a relationship where maybe we understand that our emotional support can be shielded, you know where maybe we have a chances of ensuring that we our mental wellness is okay. In the process, there are higher chances of us maybe tapping on some of these opportunities, and in the process, you just also start developing the aspect of empathy, and also the notion of shared experience. And holistically now, when people are more open, and when people have really now gone to the next level of forming relationship, there is that essence of creating what we may call a stronger community. you know and this is where now we have a community where maybe if there is someone who is maybe contemplating the issue of thoughts, or maybe the suicidal thoughts, because they are really lacking maybe employment or something of sort, we come together, since we have because since we have formed relationship with different people, and at the end of the day, the society becomes even more better. And as a society, we can even be able now to reinforce on what we call the resilience. And in the process of having the resilience aspect, then now things becomes very, 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 very important, and we can even be able to converse even when things are going tough, or when things are very, very hard. uh, but for us to form what we are calling the relationship, one, we must be open and honest. We must feel the essence of being honest and open. This is where, even if we have some issues that we are really facing, we can be able to open up. you know we can easily open up to others. We can tell them what we are feeling. We can be able to tell them about our thoughts, and at the end of the day, we can now create the foundation, maybe for honesty, or for something of such. Apart from having what we may call the open and honest communication, we must also accept. to be active listeners. Yeah, having forming relational relationship, one must also accept to have what we may call the active listening skill. This is where you really want to listen to other people's perspectives. It's not all about you dominating maybe in a certain conversation, but you really want to listen to their point, you really want to listen to the advice, you really want to listen to what they are saying on how maybe to handle a certain issue that maybe has been a stubborn in your life. And in the process of being active listener, you always realize that you have really built what we may call a stronger connection. And in the process of building that stronger connection, then you are able now to have what we may call a solid relationship. For us also to be able to sustain what we are calling relational relationship, we should also be we should also be able to develop our character, whereby someone can trust us, and where we really cherish what we may call the mutual understanding. This is where we really want to develop what we may call the sense of trust. We really want others to trust us, and in the process of that, we really build that long-term lasting relationship with them. The other issue is all about reciprocity. This is where we really want to give and take. Yeah, it's not all relational relationship really calls for two sides. It's not one side dominating, but we really want to have what we may call a fair say in that form of relationship. So this is where we really want others to listen to us, and in the process we also want also them to tell us, and we can listen, and we can also take their views in a way that can be very helpful in our lives. So those are some of the key aspects that should show that we are having what we may call a stronger relational relationship. Apart from having what we may call as reciprocity, we also want to have what we may call the shared responsibility. You know, yeah, this is where we really want to have the shared responsibility. Yeah, you don't just want to be in a relationship, but you cannot invest on you having some responsibility. Every individual involved in that relationship, we must also be able to form the shared responsibility. It's like this one can perfectly work maybe in a marriage kind of a scenario, whereby you always believe that if you really want to create that environment for trust, that environment may be for shared values, that environment may be for empathy and the stuff, uh, you must have some shared responsibility. You don't want to be everything. You don't want to be maybe the head of the family. You are the one, maybe you are the one who is cooking for the family. Maybe you are the one who is paying rent for the family. Maybe you are the one who is doing ABC, or you are generally dominating everywhere. No, you know, we must have shared responsibility, and I think and I believe this is what really used to happen during the old days, especially when our community really gave distinctive laws about maybe men and women within the community. Like for instance, in a basic African setting, women were really tasked tasked with the role of maybe fetching firewood, fetching fetching water, cooking, all those things. They used to be there, and because they really understood the value of having what we may call the shared responsibility. And in the process of having the shared responsibility, the men on the other hand, since they were the head of the family, they were really required to go out there and look for food. You see, and look for food. And but today, I think the essence of shared responsibility is detrimental and it is decreasing with time. I don't know why this is happening. I'm not so sure, because you just find that I have heard from most men, young men always saying that nowadays they are marrying, and in the process of marrying, they just find that maybe their wives, yeah, most of their wives, they don't really want to work, and maybe they are asking for more than they can provide. I don't know how true is the statement, but that's the kind of perception that most of the young people are saying. I think when I'm all alone, I can well manage my life. And the same is also happening for the ladies, especially those ladies that maybe are employed. Yeah, some of them are having a lot of problems maybe within their family setting, especially when it comes to sharing of responsibility. Maybe a man is being told, your role should be out there, go and look for a job, and maybe you come and maybe you pay the house. But at the end of the day, since most of them are not really into shared responsibility, they just feel that maybe they are not in the right place, and then at the end of the day you just find that the relationship didn't even move some inches further. So the relationship really calls for what we are calling the shared responsibility, and this is not only at the personal level, even at the societal level. This is, I have seen the lack of the lack of there we go. uh, Relationship, I was now trying to look at it from a holistic point of view, or from a large point of view, and without having shared responsibility, even from the governance point of view. That's the reason why we are all seeing what you are seeing today. Because maybe a certain leader, maybe certain leaders were elected into certain positions, but maybe we are having a certain leader with what we may call the domineering effect. That leader really want to domineer in this office. He or she really want to control this office, that office, that office. You see, and in the process of domineering everywhere, now the relationship now becomes unstable. You know, and the reason why the relationship will become unstable is because at the end of the day there are some people, maybe, that really used to be in that relationship, and at the end of the day they feel that the relationship is not working. The relationship does not have the element of trust. The relationship maybe does not have the element of reciprocity, as we have said. The relationship, maybe they see it as one side form of relationship. There is no mutual understanding, and I think this is the key thing that have really led to a lot of havoc, especially when it comes to the issue of what we are calling the county government or the county management in our country. Because at the end of the day, I have always heard from most of the MCAs saying that maybe we have tried to talk with the governor, but maybe the governor is not responding. Anytime we are trying to talk with him or her, maybe the governor is bashing us out, and in the process of us being bashed out, we feel that maybe we have no mutual understanding on how our county should be run, and in the process of saying that, now they go now to the worst route, which is now like terminating the entire relationship. So without having, thank you Karen for the love emojis, without having the shared relationship, it really now threatens the entire system, where now that love, that trust really used to prevail. And I think this is where most of our governors are being impeached, because at the end of the day, most of them, they really bash out maybe the MCAs, because they really want to domineer in their positions, maybe in their responsibilities, instead of really focusing on their shared responsibility on what they should be doing. And in the process of doing that, they always find themselves, on the verge of maybe being impeached. And now when the impeachment process now starts, it really gives you a green light, or it really gives you that gray kind of a relationship that things have been lucky, and this also happens even at the family level, where maybe a certain partner does not really want to take some responsibilities. You cannot be the husband of the house. You are the one who is cooking. You are the one who is preparing kids to go to school. Shared responsibility, it must be, and it should be the core of forming what you are calling relational relationship. Without the shared responsibility, then we don't have any form of relationship that can go long or can go far. At the end of the day, that relationship is prone to fall. And the other aspect of ensuring now the aspect of relational relationship is sustainable, it's all about forming the long-term goals, or having the long-term perspectives. This is where we really want to build something long-lasting. We really want to have those commitment, and this one is very very applicable in marriage setting. And I think that's where now we really came up with the foundation of maybe having a marriage, where most couples always go and do have their vows. They have their vows, for better or for worse, until death do us apart. That section, that one is a long-term commitment, and that one is a long-term kind of a perspective, whereby when you really try to mess with it, then it can really tear up, or it can really mess up with the entire aspect of relational relationship. So for us now to build a solid relational relationship, we must have the long-term goals. It's also in leadership. The same analogy or the same view must also be applied. This is where we really want to have what we may call the long-term perspective, or the long-term view, where we really want our leaders, if it's about the relationship between leaders and maybe the people that they are serving, the reason why maybe we vote maybe once after 5 years is all because we really want to have that form of a relational relationship with our leaders, and we really want to give them time, maybe like 5 years, for them now to build on something that we can see is something that is solid, and then at the end of the day, something that can also be engaged, something that can also be supportive, something that can be engaging, for us to really achieve or attain our societal goal, you know. But I don't know, people are also becoming very clever, like what our former president really used to say: you cannot suddenly become so clever that you have for now realized that maybe the 5-year term is not really working, and you know the relationship for 5 years is not really working, so you really want us now to go to the next level of having the 7 years relationship. I think if the 5 years is a very long time, and it's a very, very long period of time where if the relationship of trust, commitment, all these things were working, then within the 5 years, I think things should be working, they will also come to a point where they will also say, even the 7 years relationship, relationship is not working, so we also need to go for a 10 one, you know. So we cannot suddenly become so clever in keep on adjusting on how you can be able to achieve some of these long-term goals. 5 years, I believe the position where we are having the relationship between maybe leadership and the citizens. Yes, so that now when 5 years are over and maybe we have seen that our trust, that our relationship component have really deteriorated, like maybe the trust that we really had because you promised us ABCD, and maybe in the process you are not able to fulfill them or to achieve them, then we can also now terminate our relationship, and and in the process of terminating it, we can send you go back. We can also send you home, so that maybe you can go and you concentrate on some other things. So relationship must be formed also on grounds of having what we are calling the long-term goals. The other issue is all about the emotional investment. This one is also very, very instrumental, but most of the time we don't really want to invest on it. We really, we are always very, very, naive on investing on emotions, and but if we are so serious about ensuring that everything that we really want to have in a relationship works, that is the essence of trust, that is the essence of maybe forming the deep connections, all those things that we really talked about when I was starting. Emotional investment is also very key. you know this is where we really want to have emotional stability, where even being told I can be able maybe to trust my business partner. This is where maybe even being told I can be able maybe to have maybe positive feelings, for others in the society, the empathy, and maybe if it's at the relationship level, I can also be intimate, with others, with maybe my partner, without maybe having, instead of investing on emotions, we are really doing what we are calling emotional damage. We really, instead of forming the relationship, we do the reverse. We always do the reverse. We really want to destroy everything that is, to be accountable. We don't want to have feelings and empathy for others. We don't want even ourselves. We are always maybe telling lies and something of stuff, and then at the end of the day, even those people that maybe we perceive that they can trust us, they reach to a point where now even trusting us has really become an issue. And that's at the personal level. Even at the governance level, the same thing is really happening, and I always feel very, very painful, especially when I see leaders, leaders that maybe we really give them offices, we really give them positions, being at the whim of having what we are calling the emotional damage, and this is where, instead of cultivating and building that form of emotional investment maybe to the people that they are reading, they are really damaging it by their actions, because when they propel corruption, instead of building our relationship, they are really, trying to instill the element of mistrust. You know, when they are really planting the issue maybe of innocent killings and abductions, all those vices, maybe with the maybe with a certain government or with certain leaders, at the end of the day they are really damaging our emotions, and therefore instead of us seeing them in a positive manner, we start now seeing them in the reverse manner. Even if they are doing maybe something positive, people always now have to have the negative element about what they are doing, which is very very long, because at the end of the day they really didn't create a safe environment where we could also be able to defend them. So that one also really creates what we may call a havoc, uh, in terms of retrogressing, our relationship. And finally, guys, is all about safety. Safety is also very 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 key when we talk about the relationship. This is where we really want to provide a space for others where they feel that they are safe, they can be understood and they can be accepted even with their flaws, because at the end of the day, as my sister Carlin had really said, we cannot have the all package at the end of the day. We cannot have the all package. There are some people who are there, and then at the end of the day you just realize that maybe for them trust is an issue, you know but we really want to we really want to cultivate a safe haven for them. Once maybe we are having the relationship with them, where maybe we can say that uh, you being in this relationship or in this friendship or something of sort, we can really give you space where maybe you can feel that you are safe. you know uh, the issues that you have, you can address them and we can understand them, you know and just the way you are, with all your flaws, with all your hitches here and there, we can and we should accept you just the way you are. And this one is very very key, in such a way that emotionally it really creates a place where you just feel that emotionally you are connected, that all your issues mentally, they are well linked with maybe the group, with maybe the person, or maybe within that kind of a setting where you are having that form of a relationship. But unlike us creating a safe haven, we are also creating the other thing. Instead of doing the right thing, we always coming up with a chaotic manner, in which instead of creating safe relationship, we are really creating a messy one. A messy one. This is where even an individual really take a lot of caution getting maybe into that relationship. And this one can well be demonstrated by the act of the politicians, because politicians have always used on what we may call emotional damage. But instead of them creating a safe place maybe for the people that they are governing, they always provide an environment that is not really predictable, you know not really predictable. When you mess with them, they can do anything, at their they can do anything at their own expense. You can get killed. Like we have lost very very young souls and very very young men and women at the expense of the politicians. This is where you just find that a person was very young, but he or she was really killed because maybe he really talked about maybe the act of integrity, maybe the act of integrity, uh, love or something of such. maybe he really pointed out maybe some of the key issues that really needed to be fine-tuned within the society, you know. And in the process of maybe killing some 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, now the entire relationship that maybe you had with some other young people, it now keep on shrinking, you know, because most of them, they really feel that having that relationship with you is not the safest way, but rather the worst nightmare, you know, because at the end of the day, they really feel instead of them being hard, you know, instead of them being hard, they are like being bashed out. And instead of them being accepted the way they are, maybe they are seen as maybe people that are resenting or something of sort. And this has really brought a lot of messy relationships, maybe between the young people and maybe the global governance, you know. Like now, I have also read that the war maybe in France is still in continuity, you know. There was another one just the other day in Bangladesh. There was the latest one that really devoted the whole governance, because that element of creating, the safety environment or the safety relationship in a relational relationship was really damaged or terminated at a certain point. And therefore, instead of us keep on enhancing it, we really keep on damaging it, which is such a very bad thing. And then at the end of the day, instead of being beneficial, it really creates what we call a very bad footing, when it comes to leadership and governance. So therefore, guys, that's all I had today. I believe that maybe you have learned 1, 2 things when we really talk about the entire topic of relational relationship and how we should look at it. This is where we should always be building. We should always be focusing on building maybe trust, building on mutual respect, and we are also called to ensure that we build emotional investment as a way of enriching. The entire thing is all about enriching other people's lives within the society. So guys, let's keep on watching, let's keep on connecting, let's keep on adding our comment on each and every live. And before I conclude, today we had a very sensitive topic. I believe that the topic is very sensitive, but yet very neglected. Which benefit do you derive the most for adapting with relational relationship? Which benefit do you believe you derive the most, or you get the most for adapting with the relational relationship? Is it personal health growth? Is it your mental wellness? Is it your emotional support, or others? And today, mental wellness, mental wellness got 100%. So guys, let's keep on connecting. Let's keep on connecting. And I believe this is where now I should call off this live. So guys, as always, I really want to say thank you. I really want to appreciate each and every support. Let's keep on supporting the platform as always. And if you come across this video and you haven't subscribed, I really want to give you a chance that you can be part and parcel of this platform, guys. As always, let's keep on connecting. Until next time, may God bless you. Thank you.